Alright guys, it is Kieran from Red Devil Weekly and we are back to preview yet another Manchester United fixture. Before we get into it, as always, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well if you are new around here. One subscriber away from 850 subscribers. Thank you so much for all support recently, really do appreciate it as always on this channel. And also if you're watching as a video, really do appreciate you guys that watch on the replay. Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comment section down below on what your thoughts are going into this game, your predictions, and also your lineup predictions as well, because I want to see this, because this is going to be a very difficult lineup to predict, because I think all of us know that we're going to see a lot of the fringe players in this team, and one player in particular that I've referenced in the title, Donny Van De Beek. He's got to be in the starting 11, and that's where I'm going to start, ladies and gentlemen. Kobe, thanks for joining. Really appreciate it, as always, Kobe. And if any of you join the live chat, feel free to get involved and leave your thoughts, and just, you know, anything. I don't care if it's about the game or not, any questions you have. It's a free channel here, we don't care. You know, obviously you want to keep on topic as much as possible, but at the end of the day, go wild, go free, and anything, any of your thoughts will be kind of read out and we'll talk about them. So make sure if you're in the live chat watching, don't be afraid to leave a message and they'll get read out on the channel. Welcome Owen, thanks for joining. Welcome Dazza as well, thanks for joining guys, appreciate it. Make sure you check out Dazza's watch along. I know Dazza, the game didn't go as planned for you, obviously. Bayern Munich lost 3-2 to Borussia Mönchengladbach. I'm sorry for that. Obviously, I'm not the Bayern manager. I don't have to apologise too much, but he's got a lot more, you know, explaining to do. But yeah, obviously, Dazza, I'm sorry the result didn't go your way. But thanks for coming, mate. Appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Owen says, if Van de Beek doesn't start, he may as well pack his bags. A lot of people are saying that, and you know what? That's a great segue to start on the Donny Van de Beek story. Now, obviously, Donny Van de Beek has been starved of pitch time for the last few months, really. I can't remember the last time he got a full 90 minutes. Probably, if I'm not mistaken, was it the West Ham game? I know he started the West Ham game, but I'm not sure if he played full 90 minutes. It might have actually been the Brighton game in the Carabao Cup. It could have been that far back. So, you know, it's been a long time since Donny Van de Beek got a full 90 minutes for Manchester United, but this is surely his biggest opportunity in the last few months. And if Solskjaer doesn't play Donny Van de Beek, then you have to question why we brought him in at all. We really do. So for me, he's the guy we have to focus on. We want to see him in the team sheet. And if we don't see him in the team sheet, I think a lot of United fans will be pissed off, severely pissed off. I'll be one of them. I will be one of them. I'm not going to lie to you. Obviously, the result's all that matters. I'm not one of those people that says that, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, we have to play a certain way, and even if we get the result, oh, well, we played shit football. I don't care. The result is all I care about. It's the result's business. But if Donny Van de Beek doesn't start, I'll be fuming. I'll be fuming for him, and I don't understand. I won't be able to get my head around it, and I'm not sure what you guys think, but Donny Van de Beek for me is perfect for him, perfect opportunity to get a full 90 minutes under his belt. And if he doesn't, then I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell Solskjaer either. Welcome Matthew, welcome K-Side, thanks for joining. He says, if Igalo starts, Ollie's head needs a wobble. Well, a lot of people actually have been saying this could be Igalo's farewell match. You know, obviously he's going to be going at the end of January, I believe. So that is something which we got to look out for, and I wouldn't be surprised. You know, Ollie kind of was argued to have done that and were accused to have done that, you know, when he played Henderson against Sheffield United, when he said he kind of penciled players in for games and stuff, which is mental for a club with a side like Manchester United. So maybe he'll do the same thing for Odion Igalo. Maybe you'll see Odion Igalo play against Watford, his final game for Manchester United, of course. And, you know, I've liked him as a Man United player. Obviously, he hasn't had the same sort of impact as other signings we've made. But realistically, you know, we were buying a 30-something player from China. Did we really think he was going to come in and change the way we attacked? Never going to happen. But, you know, he scored some important goals. He scored some good goals as well. So, you know, fair play to Igalo. And obviously, he got to achieve his footballing dream as well, to play for Manchester United. So, it's a good story. It's a good story. Kobe says, did you hear about the Caicedo deal? Yes, Fabrizio Romano says Man United are now not in for Caicedo, and I'm not sure what to make of it. I did see a lot of reports saying we were heavily interested in Caicedo a few weeks ago, and now all of a sudden we're not in for him and we were never in for him, which I sometimes don't understand. When you see this sort of dramatic shift in reporting. But Fabrizio Romano's come out today and said we were never in for him, so that is something that, you know, for a lot of United fans will be a bit disappointed, because, you know, they saw Moses Caicedo and thought he fit right into one of the big holes that we have in our team, which is defensive midfield. We don't have an adequate defensive midfielder. Obviously, you've got Nemanja Matic right now, but realistically, is he good enough? Is he going to be good enough for the next 2-3 seasons? I don't think so if you look at his age. So I think Caicedo wouldn't have been a bad option, but obviously it seems like United aren't going to go that way. And also I saw that Kieran Trippier was another one that we were going to go for, but obviously he got into that little betting scandal and now he's been banned for 10 weeks. So it seems like we pulled out of that deal according to reports, which I actually thought would have been a good deal to have. Even if he wasn't going to be our first choice right back, because I still think that would be Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But we need that competition for Wan-Bissaka, guys. I really think that, as of late, he hasn't been performing as well. And maybe it's a case of, getting in that competition like we did with David De Gea. Look at De Gea this season. I don't think he's really put a foot wrong. So I think we should do the same thing with our Wan-Bissaka. I'm not saying Wan-Bissaka is a bad player at all, but what I'm saying is, maybe we need that competition for someone like Aaron Wan-Bissaka. TTX, thanks for joining. He says justice for Donny. I know that's the main topic of the title, the main topic of the stream. Is Donny Van De Beek finally going to get 90 minutes for Manchester United? I thoroughly hope so, and I really think that if he doesn't, there'll be a lot of people on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's case, and rightly so. Rightly so. Brother Gaming's joined us. Thanks for joining, Owen. Appreciate it. Let's see what a few of you guys have been saying up here. Kobe says, can't wait for a gala celebration in Ben Foster's GoPro. Oh, mate, I tell you what, if you've seen his YouTube channel, there's actually a class little YouTube channel from Ben Foster. Shout out if you're watching, Ben, the night before the game. It's a class channel. But I tell you what, obviously, I can't remember. I think was it a Swansea player that did that into Ben Foster's GoPro? I feel like if one of our players did it, it would have a little bit of a less of effect. It'd probably be seen more by the press and by kind of banter Twitter accounts, but realistically you're just copying at this point. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of our players did it, but at the same time you could argue it's a little bit embarrassing if that happened. TTX says Wan-Bissaka has to go for me. He doesn't look comfortable on the ball like he learned football yesterday. I can't picture us playing good football with him in the squad. That's a pretty harsh, but, who knows, potentially fair take. I wouldn't say we should get rid of Wan-Bissaka right now. I actually think still, defensively, he's decent. The one thing that he needs to work on as well, especially going forward, but that's obviously aside, I think one thing he needs to work on is his positioning from set pieces. That goes for the whole team, to be fair, not just Wan-Bissaka. That does go for the whole team. But the amount of times that the ball goes to the back post, and there's no one around him. There's no one there. There's no one next to the guy that Wan-Bissaka should be marking at the back post. The amount of tap-ins, the amount of times we've been, lucky where the player at the back post just hasn't got the finish right, has been too often really this season. So for me, I think Wan-Bissaka, as a one-on-one tackler, is the best in the league. He's got the best tackling stats for the last 3 seasons in the Premier League, so there's no doubting ability in that sense. But in terms of positioning, he definitely needs to work on that. But what we have to remember, he's still pretty young. I still think he's in his kind of early 20s, so he's still pretty young, still got a lot to learn, so hopefully he can do that at Manchester United, because we did pay 50 million for him after all. Football Crew Show, thanks for joining. He says, we need to turn up against Watford in the FA Cup after League Cup, plus if Donny Van De Beek don't get in the squad, I think he's done. A lot of people seem to be echoing what you're saying, mate. A lot of people are saying that if Donny Van De Beek doesn't get a start in this game, when is he going to get a start, realistically? So, a lot of people have been joking on Twitter today saying he should find a new club in January and kind of get the hell out of there, kind of like in the Shawshank Redemption. He should tunnel his way out of Manchester United if he doesn't get in the team for Watford. But who knows? Who knows? I feel like he will. I feel like surely at this point you can't have Donny Van De Beek on the bench for this game, because if he's on the bench for this game, the only possible solution is that he's going to be playing against Burnley. And I doubt he's going to be playing against Burnley because he's not suited to that sort of Burnley tactic of kind of burly forward types and, kind of just battering you about in the midfield. Donny Van De Beek will not be able to play against that. So for me, if Donny Van De Beek isn't in the squad for this game, I think Solskjaer's sending a message, and it's not a good one for the Dutchman. It's not. Skulls 101, thanks for joining, appreciate it. He says Owen would convert more than Greenwood, to be honest. I tell you what, he wouldn't, but yeah, knowing Owen as he is, and knowing his goal scoring record, he probably just wouldn't. But who knows? Greenwood could get a start as well. Greenwood's also another player I reckon's gonna, start the game. He hasn't actually started the last few games. I think the last time he started was against Everton in the Carabao Cup, and he looked pretty sharp there. So this would also be a perfect game for him to get back into form and show the sort of form that we saw towards the end of last season, where he was scoring goals for fun. I saw KSI, you were talking about Rashford. He says Kieran Rash is too good. His finishing hasn't been that good as of late. He did score the goal against Wolves, to be fair to him, but his finishing overall is still inconsistent. And this is something we've been talking about for ages about Marcus Rashford. And yes, I'm going to cut him a little bit of slack because he is 23, to be fair to him. But his finishing is still too inconsistent for my liking. People are trying to lump him in with some of the best players in the league, like Salah, Son, these kind of guys. But these guys finish well on a regular basis. Marcus Rashford has periods where he's clinical as anybody, but he has periods where he's really off the boil. And we're not going to be able to win any sort of league title when you have a player that has periods of good form and bad form. We're not going to be able to win the title like that. We need someone who's going to be consistent throughout the season. And obviously Rashford, as I said, he's young. He's still got a long way to go. So I hope he can be that guy for us. So we'll see. But for me, his finishing's still not consistent enough. KSI says, Kieran, anyone on the show tonight? Yeah, I'll get people on this time because I did say that last time. Obviously last time I didn't get anyone on, so this time I will definitely be getting people on. Kobe says, hope Bai doesn't start because that'll mean the Chuckle Brothers play against Burnley and Liverpool. Mate, I wouldn't be... Well, to be honest with you, I would be very surprised if Bai starts this game against Watford. But what it would show to me is that even after the performances we've seen Eric Bai put in, Solskjaer still prefers Victor Lindelof. And as I said, I don't want to make this about Solskjaer, I don't want to make this about bashing his tactics, but preferring Victor Lindelof over Eric Bai when we're all watching the same game, unless Solskjaer's watching some FIFA match, some simulation that we're not watching, if he picks Victor Lindelof for that Burnley game, I'm done. I'm actually done. Matthew says, of all the ways conceded to City, a poorly defended set piece is shocking. Well, this is what I was saying in the review. We have to concede shit goals. We never concede just a Barcelona-style, well-put-together goal. We never concede. It's always a long punt into the box or some defensive cock up, or we give the ball away in our own box, or something stupid like that. It's never just a really nice goal where you just have to sit back and say, you know what, we got done. That was a nice footballing goal. We always concede the shit crosses, and it's something which we need to start looking at in training. But again, we've been saying this for months. This isn't new. This isn't just like a revelation that's come up in the last few games. We've been saying this for months and months, that we're so crap from set pieces, yet nothing seems to change, and that is worrying for me. How can nothing be changing over this period of time? I really don't understand it. Really don't. Kobe says, Owen can cross better than Wan-Bissaka. I'll tell you what, that could be true. That could be true, I'm not going to lie. Skull says, Matthew, you must share sources with the United Scouts. And Matthew says they should be sharing their sources with me, to be honest. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Matthew, as I said, you could get on the stats. You could get on the stats of Manchester United. Obviously, they're not looking at the goals conceded from crosses stats, because if they did, they'd be absolutely horrified and we'd see a change on the pitch. But obviously, they're not doing that. So we're going to get into the Watford team, actually, because I haven't really talked much about Watford. And you guys will know a lot of the players that are currently playing for Watford, a lot of the players that actually started in their last game against Swansea are former Premier League players, and some of them even former Manchester United players. So their former starting lineup, I'm just going to read you this. Their starting lineup, for the Swansea game: Ben Foster in goal, obviously from the YouTube channel Cycling GK. Troy Deeney and Andre Gray up front. Obviously Troy Deeney, long-term Watford player, playing the Premier League. Andre Gray, of course, Burnley player and Watford players alike. Ismaila Sar on the right-hand side. Tom Cleverley in midfield. These are guys who, we've seen regularly play for Watford in the Premier League. So I think a lot of people are suggesting that there's going to be an absolute walkover in this game. But this team has Premier League pedigree running through its side. Even though those Premier League players probably belong in the Championship, they've still got former Premier League players within that side. So it's not going to be easy. We're not going to be playing a bunch of duffers. These guys have got some Premier League players within their ranks. Nathaniel Chalabar as well, I forgot to mention, among others. So, that's only the players that started. Will Hughes, of course, playing the Premier League. So they've got other players in there, Premier League quality players in their team that we're going to have to deal with. And I'm not saying that, we're not the favourites. I'm not saying we're the underdogs. Obviously, we should win this game, and we should win this game comfortably. But the fact that we're going to be probably rotating players, and the fact that Watford have got nothing to lose, they're going to come to Old Trafford with a point to prove, and hopefully for them a giant killing on their hands. So this is something which we've got to deal with, and it's not going to be as easy as a lot of people think, in my opinion. I still think we're going to win the game, and you'll see that reflected in my score prediction. But I still think that, this is not going to be a walk in the park. It's not going to be an easy 5-0 at half-time type situation. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think it is. Skull says, agreed by is the more skilled defender, but every time I watch him, I panic a little. Only reason he doesn't hold a card record is his injury. Yeah, well that's true. Obviously, he doesn't stay fit enough to kind of warrant or have enough time to get yellow and red cards. I don't actually think he has been red carded a few times, to be fair, but that was when Jose Mourinho was in charge, and that was ages ago now. So he hasn't really had too much problems with disciplinary records at this point in time. But who knows? Hopefully we'll see him for a lot more time than we did when he last came back, which was in the middle of last season. Because when he's next to Harry Maguire, we've seen how solid they can be. Last season, I've repeated this stat quite a few times, so I won't bore it with you too much longer. I will use it now. 8 games out of the 11 games that Harry Maguire and Eric Bailly started in the Premier League since he returned from injury back last season have been clean sheets. 8 out of 11. That's nearly an 80% clean sheet rate with those two. And a lot of people talk about Harry Maguire saying he's useless, but with Eric Bailly next to him, they do seem to look a lot more solid. And even in that Man City game, especially for the first half, they looked really good. And actually, apart from the first goal they conceded, they weren't that bad in my opinion. But that's just me. TTX says, to be fair, we've conceded a lot of worldy goals this season. And last bit, I agree, individual mistakes has cost us a lot of points. Cough, cough, Maguire. Yeah, I think Harry Maguire, I kind of knew Harry Maguire was going to get a little bit of abuse on this stream, as he usually does on Man United streams and on social media. But I actually think he's not the worst centre-back we've ever signed. Obviously, you get people, talking in hyperbolous terms, saying that Harry Maguire for 80 million is absolutely ridiculous, and in some ways it is. But I actually think his performances this season haven't actually been that bad. I think in some games he's been poor, but we can see now with Eric Bailly next to him, he doesn't actually look that bad. And maybe Eric Bailly's making him look better, but I don't think Harry Maguire positionally is a bad centre-back. It's just that he is prone to making mistakes, and that is something which has frustrated me with the centre-backs we've had over the years, is the fact they are so prone to mistakes. It's so frustrating because they can be having a really good game, and then one bad moment just shatters their confidence, and then for the next 3 or 4 games, they look a shadow of their former self. So that's something we've been suffering with from Man United centre-back point of view for a while. Kobe says Cleverley is a baller. Yeah, you gotta love Tom Cleverley. Sifo, thanks for joining. I thought you would join at some point after our first loss since Leipzig. Thanks for joining, Sifo. Appreciate it. He says winning trophies ain't for everyone. Hey, yeah. Also talking about the 4 semi-finals, 4 losses. Yeah, listen, it is tragic. I'm not going to say it isn't tragic. I think what is more tragic is Arsenal's league position, to be honest. And also letting Mesut Ozil go, someone who, was on 350 grand a week. You had to sack your mascot to pay his wages, and now you're letting him go. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I know, he was paying the mascot's wages. Mesut Ozil was paying the mascot's wages. You had to sack Gunnosaurus to pay for Aubameyang's new contract, and he scored like 2 goals this season. Is that not embarrassing? Is that not tragic, Sifo? Is that not tragic? But listen, it's not an Arsenal channel. I could continue the Arsenal banter all night, mate. But listen, going on this Watford game, as I talked about, Watford have got some Premier League pedigree in their side, and I don't think it's going to be a walkover. However, I do think we are going to win the game. We're going to talk a little bit about the Man United team now before I get into my score prediction. Then I will allow some people on for a little bit, because I did promise you guys in my Manchester City review that I'd have some people on, because I haven't actually had people on in ages, really. So it's good to always talk to people and get people on, so I will put it in the live chat. So yeah, Manchester United's team, I think we'll see Dean Henderson back in goal. I think we will see a similar formation to what we've seen with the Diamond, the 4-4-2, the Diamond formation. We'll have a back four, probably a weakened back four of, I think you'll see Brandon Williams at left back. I think we will see Axel Tuanzebe in the side. But I think we will still see Harry Maguire, similar to what we saw against Tranmere Rovers last season, where Harry Maguire still ended up playing, even though it was a third-round cup tie. I think we'll see Maguire, we'll see Axel Tuanzebe, and I think at right back we'll see Timothy Fosu-Mensah. I think Fosu-Mensah could get a game there. In midfield, for me, it's got to be... Well, it depends who we're going to play against Burnley. I would play Nemanja Matic against Burnley, so I'd put one of Fred and McTominay at the base of the diamond. So I'd probably put, in this instance, Scott McTominay at the base of the diamond. I'd then put Donny Van De Beek on the left-hand side. I'd probably then put someone like Fred on the right-hand side as well. And then you could look at probably up front playing Daniel James. Mason Greenwood as well. Obviously, Edison Cavani can't feature in this game, and it's frustrating because our forward options are pretty tight. They're pretty tight going into this one. So I think Daniel James will feature. I think Juan Mata as well will feature, but I don't actually think that's a bad thing, and I'll tell you why in a second. So I think Juan Mata will feature. I think Daniel James will feature, and I think Mason Greenwood will feature. So that's my kind of idea of a starting 11, really, those players to be involved. But you guys might have different opinions. If you do, that's great. Let me know your thoughts on the live chat, and also if you're watching on the replay, of course, in the comment section down below. Sifo says Ozil's a virus to the team. Yeah, he's such a virus you had to pay him 350 grand a week. Pretty expensive virus. Uskull says, didn't Arsenal get a short-term loan from the government today? I think they did. Actually. Yeah, you're right. Even the government back us. But yeah, I'm going to give my score prediction, then I'll put the StreamYard link in the chat, and then we'll see if anyone wants to join in. If they do, feel free to. If not, don't worry about it. But we'll be live for maybe 5-10 more minutes, talking to you guys, which is always good. So stay tuned if you do want to be live on Red Devil Weekly. But my score prediction for the game, I think we are going to win, but I don't think it's going to be comfortable. I really don't think it's going to be comfortable. At least for periods of the game, I think if we get the first goal, then I think it could be a comfortable afternoon. But if we don't get the first goal, it's going to be cagey, because Watford have got nothing to lose. They're going to have and everything to prove. They're going to be coming to Old Trafford with a spring in their step, thinking of giant killing. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be a little bit tight for the first bit of the game. So I'm going to go with a 3-0 win to Manchester United. I think we'll have too much for Watford overall. And I hope that the strength we have in depth will be able to get the job done. Of course, we have the guys on the bench as well, so if it isn't going that well, we can sub those guys on. Hopefully we don't, because we need those guys fit for Burnley. No injuries, everyone 100% fit for that Burnley game, which is absolutely crucial. So I'm going to go with 3-0 United. I'm not sure who's going to score the goals, but you can fill in the blanks in the comment section down below, and also in the live chat as well. But you know what? I'm going to put the link in the live chat now. If anyone wants to join, we can talk for about 10 minutes or so. If anyone wants to join in, please do feel free to do so. So there we go. Put the link in the live chat there. So if anyone wants to join in, we can have a chat about the game and just get your genuine kind of general thoughts. But I know, to be honest, this isn't the most exciting game to be talking about, really, an FA Cup game against Watford. But it is a game, it's a game, and it's always good to be talking about Manchester United. So, if you are getting a little bit bored, feel free to click off. But if not, and if you want to join in the debate, leave your thoughts in the live chat, as usual, guys. Leave your thoughts in the live chat. But we have got Dazza on Dazza's Football Stand. Thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate it as always, Daz. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing good. Obviously, unfortunately, Bayern Munich weren't able to. They let you down. Long story short, they let you down today. A 3-2 defeat to Borussia Mönchengladbach, unfortunately. But obviously, to take your mind off that, as you said, hopefully we can take your mind off it. Talking about the Watford game, going into this game, obviously, Watford are a Championship side, so you'll know a little bit more about them than maybe we do. What do you think Man United fans should expect from this Watford side going into this game?
Attacking. Watford just signed that Philip Sinkernagel from Bodo Glimt. And Bodo Glimt, by the way, are the newly crowned Norwegian champions. And he scored, I think, 23 goals and got something like 18 assists or something for them last season. So he's a good player, especially down the right-hand side. There's every chance that he'll start, that he'll make his debut against United. I did speak to Jude about that, because you know Jude, a Watford fan.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And he thinks he'll come off the bench, but there's every opportunity he could start. And as you said, they've got some, they've got Premier League players in that team, Andre Gray, etc. Tom Cleverley. They've got really good players who can certainly cause a lot of problems, especially for United's defence with Lindelof, Dwyer, etc. The bad bunch. But I don't think we'll need to be too worried. They are good down the right-hand side, especially if Ismaila Sar starts for them, because he'll be the one that causes the most problems. But we'll need to play. I don't think we need to play too strong a lineup, and I agree with you. I think we need to keep half the players rested for Burnley. But I don't see why United can't win this game, because I think defensively, Watford aren't good defensively. And especially against Swansea, the goals they conceded, they weren't closing them down quick enough. They weren't particularly great goals on their behalf. So I think in reality, both teams will cause problems for each other. But I think we'll just have too much quality for them and have too much in the locker. If Van De Beek starts, if Van De Beek doesn't start, I will be livid. Because how many times have we all said, Ole needs to start Van De Beek, he won't start him. What is it with him and Van De Beek? Why does he not start him? He's a quality player, and you're not starting him. He's better than Matic. He's better than probably Pogba. Come on. You give him 2 minutes against Man City when you're 2-0 down. How thick do you have to be to bring on a quality player when you're 2-0 down with 2 minutes to go and the game is already over? That is ludicrous. So tomorrow he has to start, because I can guarantee he won't be on the bench against Burnley, because he doesn't seem to want to start him in the Prem. And I think there's something badly wrong there, because I don't understand why. Because whenever he plays, I think we play better. So it's ridiculous, I'm not going to lie. But I'll say, with regards to Watford, they signed their new manager, Cisco Munez, or whatever his name is, from the almighty Georgian League. He's won the Georgian League. What more does he want? But I don't know what he's like as a manager. All I know is he won his first game against Norwich.
100% record. You can't argue with that. 100% record.
Well, not really, because they lost to Swansea, didn't they? But
True.
But he seems to be a decent manager, knows what he's doing by the looks of it, and I think if Philip Sinkernagel starts, or Ismaila Sar starts, that's a bit of a mouthful. If either of them start, I think we're going to be in for a long day, especially down the left-hand side of the defence. But, I'm just saying that I don't see why we can't come through, because at the end of the day, we've got the quality in the side, and we've actually got more squad depth than we used to. I think we'll pull through. And no luck, and I hope this isn't the case. But no luck, we'll get to the semi-finals, and the same will happen again.
Oh, mate, I'll tell you what, if that happened, you'd have to start asking questions.
Isn't it? You just know what's going to happen. We'll get to the semis, get Man City, and get beat again.
Well, at least we'll be at Wembley this time when we get beat.
Yeah.
At least we're not going to be at Old Trafford. At least they'll. Well, I'm not even sure there will be fans by that point, depending on the situation. But yeah, I agree. I think what you said. About Watford. I think they are going to come with nothing to lose. They're going to be a team that has have a little bit of confidence, because I think they've seen what's happened to us when teams do play without fear, and I think Watford are a team, especially with that Premier League pedigree, they can hurt us. So that is something which we're going to have to look out for, especially with our rotated team. We've talked a little bit about Donny Van De Beek there. In terms of other players you think Ollie should look to use in this game, do you reckon someone like Dan James is going to get his place in the team, or even someone like Juan Mata maybe?
I think I'd rather have Juan Mata. I know you're not going to be happy with that, but...
No, it's your opinion.
I'm sorry to say this to you, but Dan James is not good enough. Now, with his pace, he's got good pace. That's all I'm going to say. Like, he's got good pace. Whenever he gets the ball, he loses it. He doesn't do anything with it, and he's the one who wastes most of the opportunity. Do
you think? Sorry to interrupt, Daz. Do you think that Daniel James could have an effect, or could have a use for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer against teams that do press high and leave a lot of space in behind? Because we've seen that Daniel James struggles a lot when he plays these teams that play quite defensive. But do you think that Daniel James will have a place or have a part to play under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when that teams do press high and do come at us, and then there's loads of space left to use in behind? Do you think Dan James can do that, or do you just think he doesn't have the end product even for that role?
Well, I mean, yeah, I agree with that. I think he, with the pace he's got, I think we'd be able to utilise his pace, but it's his end product that lets him down. Like, he'll lose the ball every time. He's got no, what's the word? He hasn't got like any. What's the sort of football knowledge, basically?
Footballing IQ, yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah, bit that. He just doesn't seem to know what to do with the ball most of the time. That's the only problem. I mean, if he starts against them, fair enough. Because I'm not going to lie, the defenders they have, none of them are particularly pacey. So Dan James will probably have a field day against them, and against teams like Watford, etc., championship clubs. He's used to playing against championship clubs. He played for Swansea, and they win championship. So, he's got experience against championship clubs. Hasn't played against Watford, I don't think. Or did he play against them last season?
I think that's when he would have done if he ever played against them. I didn't follow the championship, to be honest, but I'm not sure.
No, because they won the Premier League last season.
Oh, of course. You're right. Yeah. Welcome, Adam. Thanks for joining, by the way, Adam. Appreciate it, mate. Make sure to check out Red Devil Studio. Obviously, mentioned he was on Red Devil Studio stream. Make sure to check him out as well. Check out Daz's channel as well, Daz's Football Stand. Congrats on 1.4k subs, Daz, mate. I saw you.
Yeah, I only noticed that in the stream.
But yeah, congratulations, mate. Congratulations. Keep it going.
Slowly, gradually building and monetized now.
I saw that. Yeah. I tell you what, if you're ever on Daz's stream, make sure get those super chats in. Pay for some more Iron Brews. Pay some more.
Oh yeah, well, that way.
K-Side, we've got you in. Thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate it. I'll ask you the same question I asked Dazza. I'm not sure how much of Watford you've watched. Maybe you've watched more than I have. In terms of what you know about Watford, what do you think as us as United fans can expect from this Watford side? And what do you think we can expect from the game as a whole? Do you think it's going to be a close game, or do you think that Manchester United is just going to be way too strong for Watford and blow them out of the water?
Mate, I'm a big fan of Watford. I've watched 10,000 games of Watford, and I think they're prime Barcelona.
Hey, I tell you what, you never know. They could turn into that Old Trafford. A lot of teams do. But yeah, carry on.
Yeah, man. Nah, but I mean, I don't. I don't really. There's two ways the game could end. We could smack them up, or we could make a meal out of it and probably win 1-0, which is, dreadful. If we win 1-0, then what's it called again? If we win 1-0, then it's kind of embarrassing because we've been like, smashing teams lately, and we've done well, and it kind of be embarrassing losing to Watford. And I think if we lose to Watford, then I think our league form will kind of drop. But I mean, you know what? We'll see what happens. I think Watford will probably give it a go, but I think if they go 1-0 down, I think the game will probably be, done then. But Watford, for me personally, they need to stay in the game for like 30, 40, maybe in the first half. They need to stay in the game and kind of frustrate Manchester United. It also depends what team Ollie will pick, because he could pick, Juan Mata, Jesse Lingard, Igalo. And I think if he does play those players, I think Watford actually have a chance of winning. But for me personally, I think we need to pick, Bruno. We need to pick Rashford. We also need to pick, what's his name again? Van De Beek.
So you don't think we should rest anyone? Well, you don't think we should rest that many players? You think we should actually go kind of, not close to full strength?
I think we should rest, what's it called again? I think we should rest, alright, let's go through the team, right? De Gea, I would... What would I do with De Gea? I'd rest De Gea. I'd rest Wan-Bissaka. Would I rest Wan-Bissaka? I'd give Wan-Bissaka a shot because, you know what? I think... What's it called again?
Wan-Bissaka.
Wait.
Because it's gone now.
Hello, everyone there. My mic.
Yeah. So carry on. No, we can hear you. Don't worry. Welcome, Adam. By the way, thanks for coming.
No problem.
So yeah, I think I don't know what's the situation, with Dalot, mate, because
Dalot, I think he's on loan, isn't he? He's on loan at AC Milan.
He's on loan at AC Milan.
So I don't think we can use him, unfortunately.
And we're just giving Ethan Laird 10k dons.
I saw that as well. Yeah, he's now officially a Don. Fair play. Hopefully, he gets some game time there. Hopefully, he does.
Hopefully, he doesn't come and slap us up 4-0.
But I was going to say, Casey, I do find it interesting that you think we should actually play the likes of Bruno Fernandes and these guys because I think a lot of people. I'll just say it now. I think a lot of people would probably. Your opinion's probably in the minority. I'm not saying it's a bad opinion. I'm just saying I reckon it's in the minority, to be honest with you. But carry on. Sorry.
I'm controversial, so no wonder, mate.
Of course.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
So I think we need to really. I want to kind of. I think we need to kind of kill off the game in the first half, get some goals, and then rest the players. I don't really.
Oh, okay. I see where you're coming from.
I don't really want to play our second team. And plus, I don't want to be. I might not see if we play our second team. I might not even watch the game because bloody hell, they're freaking boring to watch. Who was it that we played last season? The FA Cup, Norwich, I think it was. We bet them on freaking extra time, 2-1, and we made a meal out of it. We should have slapped them up.
And that was with our first team as well.
Yeah, that's true. But it actually wasn't with our first team. We did rest.
So it had like Bruno, Popper, Rashford,
Yeah, I think at the end we had to bring on a few of those guys, but I don't think we started them. I think with Zagallo started in that one, so it was. I think at the end it was pretty well full strength. I think we had like Martial, Rashford, Pogba, Bruno on the pitch. Sorry. Yeah, go on. Sorry. Yeah.
There's one player that there's not one player I will beat him more than Troy Deeney, because I hate Troy Deeney. The guy just always says something negative about United, always saying just dumb stuff. I want us to win, and then Bruno go over to him and say, "Sorry, Troy, you're the one who's not got no cojones now."
Well, to be fair, I mean, the thing is with Troy Deeney is now he works on Talk Sports, so he's definitely winding down his footballing career. He works on a radio station more than he plays football now, so I'm sure. I'm sure he's
Simon Jordan.
He's looking for retirement. He's looking for retirement. Dazza says he would go with this lineup. He'd go with Henderson in goal, Tuanzebe, Lindelof, Telles, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Van De Beek, Matic, Mata, Greenwood, Bruno, and Igalo. And Igalo scoring against his former club, of course. Odin Igalo, former Watford player before he went to China. So yeah, I'd tell you what, that would be some story, especially on a game which probably would have been his last game as well. So. Go on.
We take Eric Bailly out, we lose. Eric Bailly, I swear, I like Ollie and I backed him, but if he starts Lindelof over Bailly, I can't.
What, even in this game tomorrow against Watford?
Yeah, if he starts him in the game tomorrow, then I know that he ain't playing against Burnley. If he starts tomorrow.
Would you say that? Sorry to interrupt, but would you say that, like, just because he's not playing in this game against Watford, in my opinion, doesn't mean that he's not going to play against Burnley. In fact, if he's, in my opinion, if he starts in this game against Watford, it shows that he trusts Lindelof more, because Lindelof is playing in the more important games. So, and that would be worrying to me, because it's clear that Eric Bailly is the better centre back.
Like, did you see that block v Villa? If he trusts Lindelof more, that just shows that Ollie is favouritism. Bailly is lit.
Nah, but it's just an FA Cup game, mate. It's just an FA Cup game.
Yeah, but
if he doesn't, I would judge him on Tuesday, Wednesday when we play Burnley if he plays Lindelof. But I wasn't angry he picked Lindelof against Man City. I was angry at the end of the game. I'm not gonna mind Lindelof playing tomorrow.
Well, I'll bring you in, Rakani. Thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate it. Make sure to check out United Social Television as well. Obviously, you've heard a little bit about what these guys have been saying. In terms of the Watford game tomorrow, obviously, as a United fan, we have to be confident going into a game against a Championship side. But do you think it's going to be as easy as some people are saying, or do you think that Watford are going to potentially challenge our team which probably is going to be full of fringe players?
I think one of the things I think about today, because in the side where I am, it's already Saturday, so I'm saying today. So I think it's really going to be. It will depend on the lineup that the coach brings, because when you don't have the likes of, because I don't see Bruno starting, I don't see Paul Pogba starting, I don't see who else, I don't see the Luke Shaw starting. So he's bringing on players who want to prove themselves that they really want to get a position or prove to the coach that they can be really great at Manchester United. I think when you look at how things are going, I think United is going to have a walkover tomorrow or today, because
look, Annie, every time someone says that, we end up losing.
No, which game did I say that? Most of the games I've been saying that.
No, the other people say that, and then we end up making it so hard that we end up losing to bloody Wycombe Wanderers, even though we've never played Wycombe Wanderers.
Which game did I say? The only game that we lost, that I thought we were going to win, was the game against Man City. I predicted United was winning 1-0 or 2-1, and you saw United would have gone ahead to win that game, but the problem was the manager. Was the manager, because to me, I think there are players that played way too long, like Scott McTominay, Anton Martial would have got off the pitch more early enough. such that he had to bring in Donny Van De Beek in time. He had to bring in Mason Greenwood to lead the line. You get very many. He played to make changes. Yet United had 5 substitutions to make, and that's the reason as to why we lost. But we all knew that United would take on City. You get, but the problem was the manager. So for me, I think a team like Watford, we are really going to come on and win, provided the coach gives us the best team. You get the team. If I know that Dan Van Beek is going to start. Nemanja Mata is going to be given a nod into this one.
Igalo is going to start.
Igalo is going to start, I think. But Igalo, I think, are they giving him a farewell game for him? Because I think his spell at Manchester United is ending in January, and I think it's his last game is playing for Manchester United. But I think United is going to. I'm listening, my boss.
Igalo wasn't a bad signing. I mean, yeah, he hadn't scored in the Prem because basically he didn't get any opportunities. But in the Europa League and Cup games, he was actually good.
Yes, he was good. Let me take you back. Let me take you back to the games he played.
Okay.
Each and every time Igalo played big games, there are games that we really needed Igalo, and he never really showed the reason as to why we signed him. So I think you see the difference between Igalo and Cavani. You see, Cavani comes in. There are very big difference between Igalo and Cavani. Igalo was brought to do the role that Edson Cavani is doing now, and his failure to do that job. That's why you see Edson Cavani at Manchester United being played game in, game out, and Igalo has not played for Manchester United for like the previous all 15 games for Manchester United.
Can you really compare a striker who's won loads of trophies, and we knew he was a good striker, to Igalo, who, yes, was good at Watford, but would you expect him to be like Cavani, where Cavani can change, Igalo can't change the game. Cavani can, and
I think the lockdown kind of affected Igalo. I think because he was on he was on a hot streak, wasn't he, before lockdown? I think if the lockdown didn't happen, he might have, continued on and kept scoring, and he could have helped his confidence. I think the lockdown kind of did, play a factor. But continue.
Tyson AFTV rubbing his hands to make another excuse.
No, but for the comparison, the fact is, if I told you I brought a club like Manchester United to do a role that you failed to do, there is no reason as to why we don't compare with a striker who was brought in, and he did exactly what you failed to do. That's where the comparison comes in from. We are not comparing them according to the talent they have. We know that Cavani is massively and hugely talented compared to Igalo, but what was the role? Why Igalo was brought to Manchester United? Igalo was brought to do a role that Edson Cavani is doing right now, and him failing to do that role, that's why Edson Cavani was signed. We are comparing them not on their talent, but on the role they are supposed to do at Old Trafford.
I think if you put Igalo in this team before the Man City game, I think he probably will be scoring some goals, to be honest.
You know what? We missed someone like Cavani or Igalo, maybe even Igalo against City. Because if you saw Rashford and Martial, every time they got the ball, they weren't in the box. We needed someone who was in the box, which what Cavani was doing. Rashford, he'd be like, "Oh, you passed the ball." "Oh, well, I'm out the box now." "Why the hell did you pass the ball?" "Well, Marcus, why are you?" You just need that player who's going to be in the box at all times. Someone like, I know this may sound very bad, but someone like Calvert-Lewin or at Everton, he's always in the box, and that's why he's scoring loads this season.
To be fair, I did hear rumours of Calvert-Lewin, being linked to us. I'm not sure how true it is, but I actually want to
Calvert-Lewin.
on that just quickly, and any of you can jump in. Do you think? Obviously, you're talking about how we missed Cavani, we missed a player like him in a game against City. Do you think that Edison Cavani now is in our best kind of front three or front two? Do you think he's now in that, or do you still think it's Rashford and Martial?
For me, I think Edson Cavani shouldn't be a man that we are relying on. He should be that second option that the coach should be having on the bench. Each and every time things fail, Cavani should be introduced because most of the games he has started, he has not performed well. You get? But each and every time he comes from the bench, he gives us a different dimension altogether because he needs to come in when these players are tired. Because Premier League is all about one was physique. There are it's a lot of too many contacts are made on the player. It's not like the other leagues like Spanish La Liga, Serie A, and French League One. So for me, I think that's why you see each and every time he comes on as a substitute, he delivers well for Manchester United. And each and every time he starts, you see to it that he does not play as he plays when coming as substitute. So I think Anton Martial and Marcus Rashford should be our forwards, and Edson Cavani should always be introduced in when things really are not going the way we want them to go.
I mean, to be fair,
if Owen was manager,
do you know Owen's point? He was saying at number 9, like a striker, McTominay. To be fair, Harry Maguire's played striker in his early days. I think
remember when he
5
banged
years
that when he turned me?
at Sheffield.
Yeah.
Well, that went out of context.
Well, I mean, yeah, to be fair, I think a lot. I mean, to be fair, look at someone like Jamie Carragher. He played striker for England under 21s. Now look at him. He's, and to be fair, he did score a few goals for Manchester United. To be fair, Jamie Carragher, but that's different.
Would you not want to test things out tomorrow? Do you think?
No.
Because
don't tell me you're legitimately thinking about playing McTominay at striker. Don't tell me that, K-Side. Don't tell me that, please.
Although, if you're playing
McTominay,
against
Harry
Leeds,
Maguire.
actually, that's not a bad idea.
I didn't expect this to take this sort of turn. Harry Maguire at striker. Who knew?
He has played striker.
Yeah, he's played striker, but we didn't pay £80 million for when we bought Harry Maguire. We wanted him to play centre back. That was his position. That's what we're paying £80 million for. I mean, if he scores goals,
he's a fault. He's a liability. He cannot do that job. He's a fraud. Get him out.
But well, do you think that having Eric Bailly next to him though improves him? Do you think that can work in the long term?
I think it's inconsistent, mate. Because wait, 1 sec. Let me check. Buying Maguire. I think in the big games like against Chelsea, Liverpool, and that they're gonna struggle. Look at the Tottenham game. Absolutely a joke.
Fair.
Absolutely a joke. I don't know. I think Twanzebe is the guy. Twanzebe Lindelof is our perfect partnership, and Maguire's not good. Honestly, mate, he makes too many mistakes. I'm done with Maguire, mate. He makes too many mistakes. I play him in games like these. Honestly, he is. I don't know what's got to him because let's review Maguire, shall we? Start of last season did well up until he got spinned by freaking Lacazette, the French Charlie Austin. Then lockdown happened and he became even more worse. And ever since then, he's became worse, except from these past couple of games. And then Man City on, when was it? Wednesday or Tuesday? Wednesday. Awful. So he's just an inconsistent, overpriced flop. Honestly, get him out, man. Get Twanzebe and Bay and get, someone like Badashil from Monaco. And we're set for 21. But
now David Karma.
No, I don't think we're going to win the league. I think we'll proper challenge until we lose 1 or 2 games, and then
and then we're out.
The old consistency comes back. But you know what? We'll see what happens. We'll see how we do. But
So I was just going to say. So what I'm from hearing is that you're saying that you're not saying that Maguire's not good enough. You're saying he's just inconsistent. Is that what you're saying?
He's basically saying both at the same time.
At Manchester United level, he's not good enough. At
Right,
Leicester
okay.
level,
But this
he's
isn't
good.
the United of old.
He's just a good centre back for me, personally. He's not. If you can't rely on him, can you? Because, tell me, who would you rather? Okay, so we have let's have a scenario. Champions League final, right? Mbappe running through 1-on-1. Who would you rather have at the back? Big old £80 million Harry Maguire with his apparently his defensive capabilities, or Twanzebe? Or let me do a bit. Let me do a better one. 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 Kieran. Let me do a better one. Let me do a better one. Let me do a better one. Let me do a better one, man. Let me learn.
Go on.
Let me do a better one.
That's like asking would I rather see Dwayne Haskins or Josh Smith at quarterback.
I mean, that's to be fair. That one was pretty poor. All right, Maguire or Lindelof.
That's the thing. I tell you what, for me, that is difficult. I'm not sure who I'd pick. But go on, Adam. Who would you pick?
I would pick Lindelof.
No, guys. Let us be realistic. Do you know the reason as to why they brought Harry Maguire?
Because we were terrible at the back.
Yes.
Come on, man.
That's it. And ever since Harry Maguire came in, apart from the stupid goals we are conceding, and by the way, the problem as to why our central defense is really having all that. I'm not saying this defending Maguire, but the problem is we are conceding goals for many reasons. One, we don't have a proper CDM. That's one of the things that people don't look at. You get? Just imagine if at all, a person like Ndidi is sitting in front of Harry Maguire and Eric Bay. Do you think we concede stupid goals as we concede? We won't. You get? And guys, did you see in the first half of Man City versus Manchester United, the Carabao Cup Semi-Final? Did you see that each and every time Lucio played that line and they caught him off guard? There was no central midfielder who would cover up. Who would cover up who? Lucio. That's all the work of the CDM. So you see, most of the goals we concede, by the way, we look at our defenders, but just look back and ask yourself, where did the ball come from to reach our defenders?
We didn't pay 80 million. We didn't pay 80 million for someone that needs help.
Can I give
you see, Liverpool has the best defender in the world right now. Virgil van Dijk, but he has a Fabinho in there. Who sits there? You get?
Or maybe
so it does not
even if you put Fabinho out the squad, Virgil van Dijk would still be amazing.
But trust me,
if you put a decent CDM, Maguire would do probably. So for me, Maguire right now is a 4. If you put an Ndidi, we probably wouldn't be conceding that much goals, and he wouldn't be tested. So that's also he wouldn't be tested. And if he would be tested, he's got like 2 fast players and all that next to him.
Guys.
I'll come to you in just a second, mate. I do apologise for cutting you in, but I do see where Rakani's coming from, because if you look at Van Dijk, realistically, before he got injured, especially last season, how many times in games did opposition really test him? How many times can you really say? And it's because he had that, he had Fabinho, he had Henderson in front of him. He had these guys who could do that job.
Yeah, to be fair, Rakani did that point, because Liverpool, when was it? They signed Fabinho not last season, but the season before, didn't they? But the season before that, Liverpool issue was they were conceding lots of goals. So I could see Rakani's point.
Guys.
So I think he does have a point, to be fair.
Go on, Adam. What do you want to say?
Van Dijk was getting. Van Dijk was getting exposed this season. If you saw that game v Leeds and some of the games in the season, the attackers, they would look like beating Van Dijk.
Somehow.
And I feel like you do need someone like Ndidi or.
I think for me, Kieran, I need to ask you a question, mate.
That was my sister.
Oh, no worries. Just want to say welcome, Red Devil Studio. Thanks for joining, mate. Appreciate it. Says if Van De Beek doesn't start this game, he's probably going to go in the summer. Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that earlier in the stream. He also says, I also fear if Bailly starts, he won't start against Burnley. Actually, that's what you said, KSI. So fair play. Great minds think alike. And he says, I'm worried about that and Liverpool. Well, listen, for me, if our best partnership right now has got to be in my opinion, Maguire and Bailly. It has got to be our best partnership, and that's the partnership that's got to start against Burnley and Liverpool. But Adam, I'll let you finish your point.
Yeah, we need someone like Ndidi, or because if Leicester gave us 80 mil for Maguire, and I'm not going to go on a Maguire hit, but he ain't worth 80 mil. I can't imagine the price they're going to put for Ndidi. So I'd say, in case Ndidi's too expensive, I would have liked to see us get Caicedo, but Ed Woodward's a cheapskate. He's the type that probably goes to Poundland and headbutts a pensioner for a bag of pasta.
Yep.
So basically, we can't get anyone because if you ain't going to even pay 5 mil for a player, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure technical issues to
All right.
Is my mic okay, by the way?
Why couldn't
Yeah, we can hear you, don't
Liverpool
worry.
have the Glazers as their owners? Why did it have to be yours?
That's the way it works. It's the way it works. Rakani, you have something to say?
Yeah, I was saying that. Let me go back to the point of Harry Maguire. And by the way, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, Eric Bay, and Twanzebe, all being fit, we should see it as a positive. You get? Now, the manager, if at all he trusts Eric Bay, if at all he trusts Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof, then when his partnership has betrayed us in the game of Man City, the first goal that we conceded because it was their error, the two centre backs, it was their error, and we've conceded very many goals like that this season. You get? So it puts us in a better position of really questioning his competency at Manchester United, because if at all you have Eric Bay, a different defender from Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof, because that partnership, they're all the same, they have the same qualities almost. So why don't you play Eric Bay each and every time? Because he is a player that is different from either Harry Maguire and Lindelof. For me, let us see that a positive. Let's play that Eric Bay doesn't get injured. And at a point A or point B or C, Solskjaer will get to know that his partnership should be either Eric Bay and Victor Lindelof or Eric Bay and Harry Maguire. To me, that's the positive I see in this. So our only prayers should be let Eric Bay remain fit. And when he keeps fit, Solskjaer will have no way. He will know that the first central defender to start in his team will be Eric Bay, and he will either have to choose between Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof.
Guys, I have a question.
Go on, yeah.
So Fabrizio has just confirmed it. Diallo's in Manchester right now. Now, I know that Diallo isn't as high of a profile player, but do you think he could be involved with Burnley on Tuesday? Obviously, he won't be involved tomorrow. But we saw with Fernandes, we signed him on Friday, and then he featured on Saturday v Wolves.
I mean, my personal opinion, I doubt he'll be involved against Burnley, to be honest. I doubt it. I don't think he'll make the squad, to be honest with you. I feel like, because he hasn't even trained with the team yet, so I don't think he'll make it. But maybe he'll. I mean,
I think
imagine him seeing the weather. Can't wait to go. The weather. Yeah, I'd like to go back to Italy. Too much snow here.
Well,
I mean,
I'll tell you what, he'll get a lot of great weather in Manchester. So it's famed for its great weather. Sorry, K-side, go on.
I think what Palestri's doing with the under-23 squad or whatever,
He's got COVID.
he's been scoring goals, and I think he should, start. But that's my opinion. And also, Watford. I mean, for me, I was thinking about it today.
He's got COVID.
I was thinking, right, that I'm actually not interested in the FA Cup. Like, I couldn't care less, mate. I couldn't care less.
Yes, we don't want to be like Arsenal who just celebrate.
It's a trophy. It's a trophy. It's a trophy. K-side. Does that interest you?
Who wants to watch an FA Cup third round? Is
yeah, true. Yeah, fair.
I'd rather watch.
I'd rather watch paint dry.
I'll tell you what though, if Watford go 1-0 up tomorrow, you might change your mind. That might make it a bit more interesting.
By the way, Kieran, if we lose to Watford, right, give me a forfeit, because there's no chance in hell we're losing to frickin' Watford. And
don't say that now. We probably are gonna.
I'm giving you this, right? If we don't score more than 2 goals tomorrow, right, against bloody Watford, then I think Manchester
It's time
United
to
are
go.
probably the worst big team in the Premier League. If we don't score 2
No.
goals, even bloody Arsenal could probably score 2 goals.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would agree with you, but
I'm telling you now, there's no chance Watford are winning. If Watford
well,
win, I'm not going to be showing my face until we win the league.
But one thing I'm sure, for me, one thing I'm sure about is United is really going to put for like four past Watford. One, there is a statement Ole wants to make. You get, and don't be shocked if at all Bruno Fernandes is put into this game because Ole really wants to silence
Bruno's
this.
been playing badly.
Yes.
That's all I said. Bruno hasn't been playing good these last 2 games.
Bruno, I think Bruno is supposed to, Ole, if at all, Ole might put Bruno on the pitch tomorrow. Why? He really wants to make a big statement. And secondly, there are players that really want to prove themselves out. Anton Martial needs to get confidence because this season now, the goals that he used to score, the keeper to beat, he's the most concentrated player that we had on the ball each and every time he reaches the 18-yard area of the opponent. But this time around, he missed the sitter. So I think Ole is bringing in Anton Martial. He might bring in Bruno Fernandes. You never know, such that Martial gains his confidence. Because in the game of Man City, there are times that Anton Martial will take off defenders, but he resisted and he decided to pass the ball. And Marcus Rashford cannot even take off players because there was no space. Tried, but he couldn't break through. So, to me, I think there are players that really want to prove themselves. Anton Martial going on the pitch, he will look for a brace tomorrow. I think if at all he starts.
Martial, I think, is that type of player. I think if you put Martial on the pitch, I don't know what's the problem because he should be a world-class striker, but he's a good striker. He should be world-class with the potential.
He is.
Nah, man. Rakani, he's not world-class. He's a good striker, but not world-class. Do you think Liverpool would take him? Do you think Man City would take him?
Each and every team, Man City can take him. He can play at Man City. He can play at Arsenal. He can play at Chelsea. He can play in all the Premier League teams, trust me, and he can start. Do you know why? The problem is Anton Martial, the manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is just trying to play this player. You get? That's the problem.
Yes.
And remember Louis van Gaal who brought him and Ryan Giggs. Because they knew where that boy was going to play. You get?
Martial's got a good team around him. It's the problem is he's missing good chances and he's not.
You know how selfish. You see the problem Martial is facing is. I was watching even Alan Shearer on Sky Sports. He was complaining about it. He was saying that the problem as to why Anton Martial cannot be a number 9, he's not greedy. You get each and every time, each and every chance he gets, he says no. His first thought is to make an assist, not to score. You get, and a number 9's thought is before I think of giving away the ball, I have to score. And Anton Martial is affected most by the selfishness of the players around him. One, Marcus Rashford. Two, Mason Greenwood. You get.
Yeah,
that's the problem. Whenever Martial gets the ball, for him, he involves his players. He plays with them. But when Marcus Rashford gets the ball, instead of playing him in, he tries to be selfish. The same applies to Mason Greenwood.
This is absolutely.
Guys,
don't ever disrespect Rash, man. I'll tell you
No,
why.
I'm not disrespecting
I'll give you
him.
reasons why. Don't disrespect.
Rashford is a good player. He's one of the best players
Rashford's world class. Rashford is world class. You can't deny it.
KSI.
I'm not denying that he's not world class. Rashford is world class. Martial is world class.
Rashford's 10 levels above Mbappe. Don't even.
The what? KSI.
This is the reason I'm telling you why Rashford's not the Rashford.
KSI.
Look at him now. He's more of a team player. Look at him.
KSI.
Do you
He's
think-
passing and that. He never tries to go at players anymore. Before Bruno,
But
he
that's the
actually went
problem
at
in
players
my
and scored
opinion.
more goals and created lots of chances.
Adam, before I
That's
come to
why.
you, Adam, before I come to you, I want to ask you this question. Obviously, you talked about the comparison between Rashford and Mbappe there. Do you think that PSG right now would swap Mbappe for Rashford?
I mean,
I'm on
put
about
Rashford
this,
in the
right?
French league, he'll
I'm on about
probably
this.
be top scorer.
I'm on about this, right? Rashford. Who's actually mentioned Mbappe now? Tell me.
You
now,
said
Everyone-
Mbappe.
Everyone's
lots of
mentioning
people are
Haaland.
mentioning your boy Rash because they know he's class.
I mean, I know
Mbappe,
Mbappe can't
just
feed kids,
because he made that one World Cup moment against a
But-
bang average Argentina doesn't
But
mean
do
Now
you
you're
think
becoming tired,
PSG
you're
would
becoming
swap
tired
him?
now.
That's my question. Do you think that
Yes.
PSG would swap? So you think PSG would give us Mbappe and they would take Rashford?
yes. If
Fair enough. Fair enough.
think-
Fair enough.
I
Go on.
well, I don't know about Mbappe, but I think Pochettino, Mbappe, I'm sorry, Rashford or Neymar, I think he'd probably take Rashford. I don't think he would take Neymar. But
So you think he would take
Mbappe,
Rashford
that's
over
a
Neymar?
different one. I think Rashford would fit Pochettino style. I think Mbappe would fit Pochettino style.
Interesting.
They're both in Pochettino style. They can be world class. I don't think Neymar is going to be that good. I think Pochettino doesn't want Neymar at PSG, but that's just my opinion.
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let Adam say what he wants to say. Then I'm gonna because obviously I'm probably gonna have to wrap up very shortly. So I'm gonna get Adam's thoughts, and then I'll ask you all for a quick prediction. Then we'll probably wrap this up. But it's been fun. I've enjoyed it. But Adam, what do you want to say just to finish?
I feel like with Martial, you have to forget he was sort of suspended for a long time too. Eric Lamella, rest in peace, diving idiot. But you know what it is? I think Martial, it is a type of player that it would affect him a bit because, you know, sometimes when he's missed some games, and it was sort of like Rashford when he first came back. He didn't look that good. Now I'm a huge Rashford fan, but what I think he should actually be more selfish because who's tapping at the keyboard?
I mean, he was selfish, and then he scored lots of goals back in January, December,
Which is
November.
what he should do, because then we can actually close out games. Otherwise, trying to fight for 90 minutes against Crystal Palace.
I think Bruno Fernandes has kind of affected Rashford, to be honest, with
The
the
hell?
link-up play and everything.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like something bad. Carry on.
Nah, the link-up play I think has affected Rashford a bit because he has to kind of be more involved with the team because, we had bombs like Jesse Lingard in the team before, and so Rashford had to go it alone. And of course, your boy Rash never messes up, and
Yeah, he
he's-
never messes up, never. Apart from when he
I'm not-
puts it straight into Emi Martinez's hand.
Mm.
No, but don't blow. By the way, guys, I'm one of the Manchester United fans who supported Rashford from the word go when Louis van Gaal brought him to
I
the
did.
pitch.
I did.
You remember
I
that
did. Kieran knows, I did.
Europa League
I mean,
game
I wasn't
at
into
the-
football
when he
then.
banged in those goals. Then he came in and banged Arsenal. He went to Man City. You get? So one thing I want us to know about Marcus Rashford
2014.
is Marcus Rashford, he's a good player, trust me. And there are some of the players, I like him for one reason, because he plays for the Sharks of Manchester United, respects it. You get?
You know what I don't like? I don't like when people call him or Greenwood or anyone a generational player. Generational player gets thrown out way too much. Pretty much every young player is now called a generational player.
He's not Messi or Ronaldo, I'll admit that. He ain't no Messi or Ronaldo.
And
Nor
he
is
ain't
Mbappe.
Ibra. Don't forget about Ibra.
He's the best young player in the world, but he will never be Messi or Ronaldo
So do
quality.
you think he's better than Haaland?
Yeah.
Haaland, yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the roles
I
they
don't think
play are
Haaland's
different.
kind of he's done in the Champions League, but look at Rashford. He's also been clutch. I think he needs to do it in a big league.
I think you cannot compare. You cannot
Mbappe,
compare
he's been a
Rashford
fraud
with.
ever since Argentina in the World Cup. And
I don't think
I hate Mbappe.
I don't think
I
the
just hate
comparison of Rashford and Eric Haaland is fair because Rashford is a winger and the other one is more way of a forward. You get?
True, yeah.
And when you look,
But
if at
then
all,
again,
and Eric Haaland, when it comes to playing as a forward, is better than Marcus Rashford. And Marcus Rashford, wing playing on the left side of the midfield, coming in as an attacker, he's deadly. You know how he comes in. He's really spark. So I think they're different players altogether. And for me, I think Marcus Rashford, when it comes to players who are playing from that left side of the wing, attacking role in the world, he's one of the best right now in the world because he's really productive.
One of the reasons I'm gonna say is so you know, we have these young players. First season, they do well. They absolutely destroy the Champions League and everything, right? And they're considered as the next big thing.
and then they come out to
the
be
next
flopped.
season, they become absolute bots and they do badly. Rashford he's been a little bit inconsistent, but Rashford has kept it up. Rashford scores in the big games. Rashford is keep on doing this. People need to put Rashford. That's why I'm rating Rashford over Mbappe. Rashford over Haaland. Mbappe, he ever since our
Rashford
World
over
Cup moment, he
Rest
did
in
well,
peace.
but he didn't do what Rashford's done. And Mbappe, for me, I just don't really get the hype with him. Haaland, he's done well at the start of the season, but when he comes back, if he does well this season, then yes, Rashford and Haaland are probably at the same level. Well, not the same level, but I can understand Haaland. But
I know
Mbappe, I
what
don't
you're gonna
understand.
say, but it's
And
the
Mason
fact
Greenwood as well. He's
ruin players.
lost it.
He just
lost
hasn't
it.
got game time.
But for me, guys, I'm just thinking. I don't know who of you watched United in 2004, 2005.
I wasn't even born then.
Yeah.
All right. Let me take you back. Do you know the scenario that took Roy Keane out of Manchester United?
Sorry,
Oh,
I couldn't hear.
It was the coming of Cristiano Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
You get? So United loses 4-1 to Middlesbrough. Roy Keane
Now they will not be happy
goes to
then.
the manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, tells him, I told you these players cannot take us to the level that you're supposed to be. You get? What you should do, we've lost David Beckham, getting players who really are really world class, not these players that you have. Do you know what Alex Ferguson did? He told Roy Keane, if you're not ready to play with these players, walk out of Manchester United and go. That's when Roy Keane retired from football. You get? So, why? Because the players like Wayne Rooney and Cristiano Ronaldo, the manager had hope in them. Like you see, Ole has in Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford, Anton Martial. And by the way, when you look at the numbers that these Martial and Rashford have brought in, Ronaldo and Rooney had not yet scored such goals by that time. So for me, I think we should just give these people time because what they are showing you is the previous season they did well according to their numbers. Apart from Anton Martial, who has been down because of the game suspension and injury. So, but I think if at all they keep like this, the next season they are going to give us more and more numbers. And the next season, 2021-2022, I predict Anton Martial and Marcus Rashford they will bang in close to 30 goals a season. That's what I think. Because the manager trusts them and is building the team around them. If at all Bruno Fernandes stays and Paul Pogba puts pen to paper to that contract I've heard that is going to be given to him before the end of this season, and if at all we bring in a central defender and a right fullback, I think United will be good to go and will be up to compete on every trophy in Europe.
Kieran.
I hope so.
Can we get to the predictions now, Kieran?
Yeah,
I was
I'm
going
a
to
bit tired.
I was good. Don't worry. I was just getting a bit late in the UK, but yeah, I'll just go around everyone and just getting back onto the Watford game. I'll just get around everyone, just give you quick predictions on what you think is going to happen, and then we'll probably wrap it up. But I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed the debate, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed it as well. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the live chat, comment section below as well. And yeah, leave a like on already and stuff.
To the debate show.
And make sure to check out. make sure to check out United Social Television as well if you haven't already, and make sure to check out Dazza and the other channels I've mentioned as well.
Rukani, I'll sub to your channel yet.
Yes, I've also subscribed to Adam Talk Sports. I've subscribed to right now. I've subscribed
Nice
right
one.
now. Yes.
Nice,
Just
there you go.
like
Sharing,
Respect.
growing the United fan community. That's good. I love that. So
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
the
go
higher
around.
ups are still toxic, mate.
Well,
Wait,
I'm gonna go
channel?
around. I'm gonna go around and I'll put it in the. You can put it in the live chat if you want. United Social Television. Go and check it out. Great stuff over there. I'll start with you, Rakani. Actually, as we mentioned your channel. What is your prediction for this game against Watford?
5-1. 5-1, 5-0 Manchester United.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Okay, side, do you agree?
The lads are hungry. The lads are hungry. They really want to
I hope
win.
so. And
Kieran, can I
it'd
go
be a
last?
big statement. Oh, you want to go? Okay, fair enough. Adam, what's your prediction then?
I'll go. It depends on what United we see. Do we see the United everyone's scared of, or do we see the United that plays like Dagenham and Redbridge? But I'll go. We'll see the United that's good. I'll go 4-0 up the Reds.
4-0. I love that. I love the scoreline so far. Kesai, you've got the last word. What is your score
Kieran,
prediction?
you know, every time I do a score prediction, remember I was on about the City game and I said we'd lose.
Yeah.
And the
True.
Tottenham game, I said we'd lose as well.
Yep. So you got to predict a win for us. You got to predict a win.
I think we'll win, but I don't think we're going to win convincingly. I think the score will be. I think we'll score 2-3 goals, and I think they'll probably score one, and I think we'll win the game. But I think we kind of let them, kind of have chances, kind of be the old United, mate. But I think we'll win the game. I don't think we'll. I think if we lose, then it's kind of embarrassing, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean it's almost as embarrassing as Liverpool conceding to Aston Villa's under 18s, but we're not going to talk about Liverpool.
Actually,
well, yeah.
I mean, imagine if Aston Villa won the game.
Yeah, they won the game pretty comfortably in the end, but they did concede. Louis Barry, obviously, future talent.
That game is basically Year 7s versus Year 11s, but Year 7's best players are all ill.
Exactly. But obviously they're through, and we're not through yet. We've got to beat Watford, and I do believe we're going to beat Watford. As I said, 3-0 earlier in the stream.
Good night,
but I like that. Four good predictions, and that's a great way to end. Thank you so much for watching, guys. As I said before, make sure you check
Kieran,
out
what's your prediction?
Oh, I said 3-0. 3-0 United, I reckon. 3-0.
Who's
Clean
scoring?
sheet. 3-0. I don't know. It depends who starts. I think maybe Donny. If Donny starts, he could make a statement and get a goal.
Anyone with the name dying with Arsenal.
And by the way, there is something we should stop being furious at. Donny Van De Beek. I'm one of the people who has been criticizing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but as a manager, there are certain things that you have to know. One, look at Freddie. Freddie was not trusted by the manager, not until Paul Pogba got injured. You get? Eric Bay wouldn't get close to 4 games, even if Victor Lindelof was injured or a variable. You remember last season when we played against Chelsea, Eric Bay came in, deputized for Lindelof. We won 2-0. He played very well, made good blocks. In the mid of the week, he was dropped by the manager. You remember? But this time around, Eric Bay has played close to 4 games consistently. So Donny Van De Beek is going to get his time. Trust me, he's going to get his time. And when he gets his time, he won't get off that pitch. He won't. He won't.
He'll play like prime Maradona.
Yes?
Okay, maybe not prime Maradona, but just play good, innit? This would be my tactics for the team. Basically, just go out there and score, innit?
Arena was Nagalo's final farewell. It's like a freaking Undertaker's final farewell at Survivor Series, innit?
I'll tell you what, I'd love for Gallo to score though if he plays. I'd love for him to get a goal.
At least we're not like Man City. They would consider Scott Carson a legend.
Yeah, well, unfortunately this week we can't talk much about Man City because they just beat us 2-0. But you know
this
what?
should be named Odi Nagalo's final farewell.
His testimonial. This is Gallo's testimonial right here. But guys, I'm gonna have to leave it there.
I'm just trying to find Rakani's channel.
Odi Nagalo, the greatest player of all time. You can't deny it. You just can't. Guys,
And on that note,
Igalo's gonna score a hat trick, bro. Watch. My guy.
and on that
Odion
note, I'm
Igalo,
going to leave it there. Thanks,
Rashford
guys,
is
for watching.
also
Really
a great
appreciate
ladies
it.
and gentlemen.
See you,
Thank you for
Kevin.
watching.
See
Thank
you
you
later,
for
guys.
watching Red Devil Weekly.
See you in a bit. Cheers.
Have a good
Alright.
day, everybody, and
Alright.
cheers. What a
Cheers.
stream.
Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.